Hi everyone, I just wanted to go over our final project, which is the dungeon project. This is not going to be as scary as it sounds. Haha, get it? Because it's a dungeon. This is actually going to be something that will be derived mainly from creating some textures and doing some easy UV unwraps on it. It is meant to be low poly models. If you're making super intense models, you're not following what I'm looking for. And what am I looking for? So this is going to be a video. I feel it's easier for me just to talk to you and you guys to listen to that than me just to type something up right away. I have the written piece that you'll be getting real soon, but this is just for you guys to kind of get what I'm going for here. So the dungeon project, this is going to be a modular dungeon. So you're going to be building different little pieces like Lego brick style pieces and clicking those together to build your model in Maya and put it together in Sketchfab. I have a ton of videos that I'm giving you guys on how I am building out a dungeon. If you follow with what I'm showing you there, you're bound to be able to get this done and do a really good job with that. The theme for this, where is this dungeon located? Is it in a swamp? Is it a forest, a crypt, a library, a space station? Is it a swamp that has a forest next to it that has a library in it? Whatever that is, I want some sort of a theme so that way it feels like it's cohesive. Don't go for just a default thing. Try to figure out what you could do. Maybe it has little snake tiles on the wall and on I don't know, maybe you have like a winding snake around your pillars or something like that. Is it dwarves that live there? Elves? Aliens? Sasquatches? Who knows? Create modular assets. I want your walls and other building geometries to be derived from your texture sheets. That's important. Not your props so much, but your walls and other building geometry. You're going to be using the techniques that I'm providing for you guys in the videos and how to cut and build out certain pieces and recycle textures to build out quite a bit of different things. This is a technique that's been used in game design for quite a while, or level creation for quite a while. Everything in your everything is to be properly UV unwrapped and shaded using a blend material. We're not going anything crazy with this. You don't even need to use normal maps. I would expect some sort of specular. It's going to be shiny materials, but for the most part, this is going to be very simple blend materials I'm looking for this. So we're hitting a time constraint because of everything that's been going on, and obviously it's a lot harder to get critique back to you guys when we are working remotely. So we're going to be limiting how much we're looking for this final piece. This is a stylized dungeon utilizing a painted aesthetic. We're not going for super realism on that. I'm also not looking for this. Do not give me anything like this. Now, the model is cool, but this has no textures on it. It is using a material and it is using some really cool geometry. There's no images that are on here to reference that this is wood or this is rock. So I am not looking for that. There is a ton of stuff if you type in low poly dungeon that comes up like this. This is not what you will be graded for. So do not make anything like this. I'm talking about something like this, where you can see there's tile here, and it repeats over and over and over again. As a matter of fact, hey, look at this. Here's this piece, and it goes over here, and then you can see that same rock that's up here and right here, and it's very obvious how this is put together when you look at it after a while, that these are all modular tiles that repeat over and over and over and over again. We also have pillars, very low poly pillars, totally fine for this project, and a cement texture that goes around the edges of this. So this is something that's absolutely what we can do and something I'm looking for. As a matter of fact, most of this right here, if you ignore the characters, because we're not focusing on characters at all, we can call it a treasure chest, but it's like a catacomb or a casket. We have some weird marking here. We have some jugs. All video games have broken jugs and clay pots and stuff like that for whatever reason. We have fire. We have a way of breaking the level up into different areas by having this half wall where it has these little I don't know what you call it, that fencing on there. So all this is a great idea, and this absolutely works within the idea of modular assets. So that's what I'm looking for. I am also not looking for multiple levels in the sense that I don't want it to be on separate stories. I want it to be one solid continuing path that doesn't travel up or down into other areas. So that's just trying to keep it simple and to prevent any issues if I try to get this into Unity, that I'll have to add some extra little things into it. So everything should be on one path. There's no jumping, so we can't make any jumping puzzles or anything like that. We just want to have a dungeon. Multiple areas, not just one room. So if we look back at this image, this is kind of one area right here. It's going over to here, and then we can have another area over there. That's fine. I'm not looking for just one spot. And again, these rooms are to be on one floor or story. I want 3 different door varieties and 2 different repeating floor tiles, or floor textures should be that. 3 different walls, 1 pillar type, 1 treasure chest, a trap that's like spikes in the floor, swinging pendulum blades, or crushing walls. I'm going to show you guys how to bake animation to get that into Sketchfab. And 1 animated light source. So that could be a torch or wall, torch on the wall, or brazier, and that is, or brazier, whatever the heck that word is. These things you see right here. We don't need smoke on that. We can just have an animated fire that goes up and down. And 3 different types of decorations. So spider webs, skulls, blood pools, bones, bookshelves, mad scientist tables, cages. Be creative. Don't just go off of the first thing that comes up when you type in dungeon. What type of dungeon have you always wanted to make? Now again, these things, some of them are more complex than other things. So if you're building out a mad scientist table, there's ways to build that out so you can do it modularly and not have to do a lot of different pieces. Same thing with bookshelves. There's a video that I'm about to drop that you guys can see that shows how to make a bookshelf, and it's under like a half hour to be able to build that whole thing out. So think about how you can build things out in a modular way using reusable textures for them, and be original. I'll know if it's not. Make sure that you are coming up with something that you want to do. I don't want to see a Zelda water temple. I don't want to see something from, Far Cry or something. I want something that would fit within an RPG. It could be space. It could be fantasy. Fantasy usually is the easiest thing to come up with there. But I want a dungeon in the sense that it is a low poly, low texture size dungeon. So make sure you're being creative and come up with something you'd like. So how we're going to break this down is we're going to first have some sketches of the assets that you guys want to have. You'll have a mood board of images, and then we'll work right from there to create our modular dungeon piece. So we'll be getting those things going within the next day.